Live here this morning, it's the OBRL Racing League from Daytona International Speedway. I'm Matt Egan, joined by Jared Dixon. How you doing, Jared?
Well, I'm here.
Well, we're doing something a little bit different, racing in the morning, something we don't usually do here, but definitely happy to be on board for this race. I think we're in for quite a good show. Currently looking at the 18, Rick Mason. He gets ready to go off on his qualifying run here. It'll be 80 laps tonight at the Daytona Raceway. 100% fuel load on these cars. Fixed setup is what we're looking at. So, Jared, what do you expect to see tonight?
If I'm being honest, because it's Daytona, really big wreck.
Yeah, I mean, hey, it's Daytona. The big one is bound to happen. It happens at every race at Daytona. Hopefully, though, maybe we don't see it, but it's more than likely we will have at least one big crash. I hope we don't, though. Rick Mason, though, getting ready again, coming around now to start his first flying lap. Now, 80 laps, half the distance of the real race. That means there'll be about 1 or 2 pit stops. These cars can go roughly around 40 laps to a tank of gas, not factoring in cautions, of course. So, really, I expect to see about 1 pit stop. What do you think there?
It could be 1 pit stop. However, it may have to be that if there's a drafting pack, people... give me a second.
Yeah, I got you.
I'm having a theory, and the words just aren't coming out of my mouth.
Alright.
It may be that if there's a pack of people who all trust each other, they may have to switch the lead in the middle of the race around, because the leader uses more fuel on this track than cars that are pushing.
Yeah, that's possible. That's definitely possible.
Yeah, so you may have to switch the lead up so that one car isn't using more gas than everybody else and has to pit 1 extra time when the rest of the pack won't have to.
Yeah, that's a possibility there. Now, if you're wondering where this league gets its name from, folks, if you're not familiar with this league, it's because everyone in the league is at least 35 years or older, which I think is kind of an interesting idea. You don't see many leagues out there kind of doing that thing, but I think it's a good concept, you know?
Yeah, it is, because in iRacing, sometimes if a league is open to everybody, I say this and I'm 18 years old, not everybody has the best reactions, not everybody leaves as much space as everybody else, and sometimes it's depending on age.
Yeah, you get a more mature group of drivers. So
yeah,
I like the idea. I think it's a pretty cool idea.
Yeah, it's a good idea, and as far as we've seen, it's worked pretty well.
Yeah. Right now, looking Randy McCanney, excuse me, fastest on the speed charts, 47.734 was his hot lap. Second place goes to, Gary Griffith goes to the top of the speed chart. You may remember him, folks. He raced in NASCAR a few races last season.
Yeah, he won Sebring, I believe.
I believe you're right. There's Clyde. Looks like he'll be 3rd on the speed charts. Robert Vinning, 4th. 5th goes to Dakota Pischke in the Great Clips Ford Fusion. Looks like Mike Franklin still on his speed run. I think this is his 2nd lap, or he's coming on to his 2nd lap right now. He'll get across the line, and that's a hot lap right there. Fastest on the speed charts. What a time.
Yeah.
Drew Elliott out on his run. This is his first lap on the track in qualifying. 101 car. And coming across the stripe, let's see what kind of lap time he'll set down. He's looking for a quick lap here, folks. I think he might just get one. Unfortunately, that would be... Actually, no, he's just starting his flying lap. You see, he'll run the high line here, and that's really what you want to do at Daytona. You want to run that high line for the first lap. The second lap, you'll get a nice run on the bottom. if you get that high line worked out nicely on the first lap. And that's been the strategy at Daytona, I think for the last few years, actually, on iRacing.
I think that's been the strategy pretty much with everything at Daytona.
Yeah,
because I know even some Cup drivers do that in qualifying.
Right. Oh, see, Drew, excuse me. Drew Elliott now, coming across the stripe. This is, again, his first flying lap, and he'll get down to the bottom now for his second. Still showing 21st. That was 48.634. See what kind of lap time he'll throw down for his second lap. Again, I expect a much faster lap, as that's really typically what happens. You don't get a very fast lap the first time around on that high line, but it really just gives you a lot of momentum going into your second flying lap. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it'll give you a few extra miles an hour, at least on the front stretch.
And
normally, if you can carry that into the corner, you'll do pretty well.
He's going a little bit higher above that yellow line than I necessarily would. He'll dip under it there, and he'll cross the start-finish line. He'll get it up to 12th. That's a pretty good lap. Now looking at Brian Glass on either his out lap or his first flying lap. He's yet to set down a time. I think this is his first flying lap, actually, as he's up on that high lane. That 87 car, I like that paint scheme, the old Kodak machine.
Yeah, that is a really good paint scheme.
Indeed. Well, let's see what kind of lap time he puts down for his first lap. I expect to see him transfer over to the bottom lane. And yes, he does. He'll bring it down to the bottom, and he'll be 23rd. Probably get a top 10 lap in, I'm going to venture.
Hopefully at least.
Yeah, well, we saw what the 101 got 12th. That was Drew Elliott, and he turned a similar lap time on his first lap as Brian Glass. So I think we'll see a similar, probably around 10th would be my guess for this 87 car. We'll see in just 2 corners. At any rate, though, he's got a pretty good run through this corner. I think he's kept a very nice line down on the bottom. He's keeping it right locked on that yellow line, which is exactly what you've got to do. And he'll cross the stripe. He'll get it to 5th. A very good lap indeed for Brian Glass. So Mike Franklin, still the fastest, but Brian Glass 5th. I think that was a good run. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, top five, especially 5th, 3rd, or 1st is good because the inside line tends to have more momentum at Daytona.
Yeah. Well, I was NIS the other night. The high line actually got a lot of speed in it, though that was NIS Open, so I'm not entirely sure what we'll see tonight, or today, rather.
Yeah, fixed setups tend to lean more towards the inside line having the most momentum.
Right.
However, sometimes people can get everybody going in one line and just move up to the top. I've seen that happen here before.
Looks like Mike Schrader, John Hastings, Steve Thomas, Mike Vornese, and Bobby McCormick are the only drivers yet to set a lap in qualifying. Everyone else has set down a time. And Mike Schrader brings it, or not Mike Schrader, Brian Glass, rather, brings it to a stop here. I gotta say, that was a very good run out of that 87. I think he'll be a contender in this race. Looking at the points standings going into this race, it's Mike Schrader with the points lead. He's got that points lead by 46 points over Joe Kilburn. And Joel actually won last week. If we look at the race results, Joe won last week. He won Chicagoland. That was a good race for him, getting the win. So I think it'll be an interesting race to see how Mike does. I think he'll obviously continue that points lead, but it'll be an interesting race. Looking for his second win of the season. Joel going for win 3. Anyway, so Now, what do you expect to see in the opening laps here, Jared?
I think the inside line is going to pull away unless you can get 4 or 5, maybe even 6 cars on the outside line to make a push. But then they could run side by side. Or if everybody's bump drafting, I don't know the league's rules about that. I think they allow it, if I remember correctly. They could actually push somebody to the lead on the outside.
Well, we can check that out for you. The cars are getting ready to grid up, and it'll be an interesting race. 80 laps, half the distance of the real race, and like I said, I think we'll see maybe 1 or 2 pit stops. It shouldn't be a lot of pit stops tonight unless we have a few cautions. I keep saying tonight, I mean this afternoon, this morning, but, you know, it's a nighttime track, so it is tonight, technically. Anyway, looking at the starting lineup, it's going to be Mike Franklin, Gary Griffith, row 1, row 2 for Randy McCanney, and Joshua Robinson, row 3 for Brian Glass and Josh Gear, row 4 for Niels Clyde and Robert L. Winner, row 5 to Dakota Fishkey and Ed Carpenter Jr., row 6 to Raymond Castile and Joel Tex Kilburn, row 7 to Drew Elliott, Thomas Ogle, row 8 for Rick Mason and Rob Connors, row 9 to Patrick Milligan and Robert Smith, row 10 to Dode Hornet Hoskins and Peter Narquay, row 11 for Michael Hensley and Jeffrey Cox, row 12 to Dylan Ayer and Mike Schrader, and row 13 to John Hastings and Bobby McCormick, looking to row 14. How about Stephen Thompson and Mike Vornese? And that'll round out your field tonight, looking into the start of this race. I think we're in for quite a good show here. So, field rolling off, folks. Don't forget, to the folks watching this, you can vote for the Octane Race Productions Driver of the Day Award. Put your driver name or number in the YouTube chat. The driver with the most votes at the end of the race gets interviewed by the American Sim Network, in addition to the top 3 who we interview after the race. So that's the Octane Race Productions Driver of the Day Award. You can vote for that whenever you so choose. So now, the start of a race at Daytona is always interesting. It's always a good thing to see. Do the drivers want to stay side by side? Do they try to go single file? What do you think we're going to see? You think we're going to see them stay side by side, or you think we're going to go single file here?
For a broadcast perspective, I hope they stay side by side, but I don't think so, because these drivers are quite mature and they should know at least that there's 80 laps. You might as well go single file for now.
Well, we shall see. Pace car getting ready to hop down. And the pace car is down. And the green flag getting ready to fly. It is in the air. Green flag. We're racing from Daytona. Here we go. And a great start. Mike Franklin out and away as they go down into turn number 1. It'll be side by side most of the field. Franklin trying to pull away a little bit. And yeah, you can see most of the field side by side as they get up to speed down the backstretch. Looks like Mike Franklin still on the inside. Randy McCanney on the outside in the 119. Or no, right behind him. Gary Griffith actually on that outside lane. He'll lead it. Brian Glass third. And the outside line consists of the 23, the 28, the 2 are out in front. They got a good run right now.
The 87 hopped up there.
Josh Robinson will go down to the bottom lane. Yeah, the 87, Brian Glass now on that high line, trying to get to the race lead. Looks like the 44, Clyde. Well, he's got a good control over basically, you know, what that outside line can do, or had. Now that outside line's forming up a little bit more. He could have gone high or low. It looks like he'll choose to stay low. Outside line now consisting of 3 cars. And the 119, Randy McCanney looks like he'll lead lap number 2, or might lead lap number 2 as we get to the start-finish line. It'll be close. And lap 2, yes, it'll go to McCanny.
125 is all on his own, in 4th on the outside line.
Yeah, he's gone all the way actually back to 9th now. That's John Deere.
And he goes
swings around. Oh no, big crash. Multiple cars involved. That's a big one, folks.
There goes a lot of the field.
Lap number 3, the 2 car, the 107. I see the 101's in it. Man, what a crash. That's unfortunate. We're going to take an instant replay. Look at that one for you. I don't know. Did he just get loose there, it looked like?
I have no idea what happened.
This was on lap number 3. It looks like the 125. Yeah, he was up there all by himself. Got into the corner. Oh, the 2 came up. Made a little bit of contact with him. It just kind of sent him around. 99 got into it pretty good. The 18 was in it. The 8 was in it. So, very unfortunate crash. We'll be right back on the American Sim Network. As John Deere crab walking it down the backstretch. He's trying to get it to his pit box so he doesn't have to get a tow. But yeah, you can see most of those guys involved. I think Jeffrey Cox might have got through it, but Steve Thomas, Narquay, he's in it. Drew Elliott got into it pretty bad. Ed Carpenter. So we'll be right back. Randy McCanny, your leader on lap number 4 from the Daytona International Raceway. Back live here at Daytona, and a very interesting start to the race. Took out, well, looks like about 4 or 5 drivers. Actually, took out just about 5. And it looks like the 107, Peter Norquay, coming back out onto the racetrack. Or Norquay. And he'll come back out. So, but he's got a lot of damage. He's not going to be on pace with the rest of the field, unfortunately. But so, I mean, really just a bad crash at the beginning of the race. I really would just chalk that up to bad luck, a racing deal, you know. But always unfortunate to see when it happens so early on. Pace car getting ready to go down. Jared Dixon will call the green flag here.
Oh boy, okay. This is gonna be fun since it's Daytona.
Yeah. Pace car gonna hop off right about now.
And we are back green as the 119 of Randy McCanny takes them back to the stripe.
Yeah, Randy got a good start there, as did the 25, though. Up on that outside, that's Mike Franklin. He got a good run there. He's got the 44 Clyde behind him. The inside line, Brian Glass and McCanny. And you see Gary Griffith on that inside as well, as is Robert Vinning, the number 6 car.
Yeah, I think at least up front right now that inside line's got it going.
Yeah, I think so, but you got that outside lane, again, headed by Franklin, and he's got a pretty good run up there, and we got one car slow on the apron.
It's the 40 of Joel Kilburn.
Yeah, Joe Kilburn.
Hey, I did get it right. Cool.
Coming back down pit lane, I think. Yep. So he's got something wrong with that car. Meanwhile, everyone else, though, has got a pretty good run going on, and you see a little bit of a split, though, between where Vinning is and Robinson, then to Jeffrey Cox and Pischke and stuff. You can see there's like a little bit of a split in the field, you know.
Yeah, I think those may be people who are more hoping that if they run towards the back, they won't get wrecks.
Yeah, maybe have a little bit of a more chance of being there towards the end, which, you know, not necessarily a bad strategy, especially after that crash early on. Play it safe. That would be my go-to strategy, especially right now. But Randy McCanny doing a great job.
Well, yeah, but the crash early on took out a lot of people at the back of the field.
That's true too. I'd say that was about midfield too.
Midfield towards the back because, you know, everybody else got caught up in it.
You see quite a few of those cars coming back out. Patrick Milligan, Robert Smith, Joel, and, you know, Drew Elliott and stuff. But they're coming back onto the racetrack, obviously, a few laps down. Looks like the 63, the 125, and the 2 are the only drivers to really call it in a night. Or call in a day so far.
The 63 called it a night.
Yeah, I said the 63.
Oh,
I thought I said the 63. I might not have. But going back side by side here, this battle for position between well, not a battle for position actually. The 67's a lap down, or 2 laps down rather. But Mike Hensley is up on his outside. That is the 50 car. You see on the top of your screen, the 67 of Steve Thomas down on the bottom. Get in behind Mike. And Hoskins in the 66 has got a bit of damage on his nose. He managed to stay on the lead lap, though, so I'm wondering if he's going to try to fix that over the course of a few cautions and try to keep that car on the lead lap as long as he can, as they've got about 70 laps left in the race.
Well, that would be a good idea. As we only have right now 16 cars on the lead lap. Everybody else is 2 or more laps down.
Yeah, Rick Mason being the driver bringing up the rear of that field. And he's, again, got a lot of damage from that crash on the front end of the car and also on the back end of the car. You see he's actually got no back end. So, you know, obviously not going to be running at speed But, you know, at least he'll be able to salvage some points from today, and hopefully go into Kentucky next week or in a few weeks' time, and really have a good race there.
Yeah, that car looks about how mine did at the end of ISDC Season 5, I think, at Daytona, or at Darlington.
Yeah, I mean, hey, this track not exactly what you would call nice to other cars.
No.
But hey. Meanwhile, the front of the field, they've got that thing going about single file train right now, so they've got a pretty good thing going.
Yeah, that's kind of what you want in the middle of the race, at least.
Yeah, next week they'll be at Kentucky, and side by side for the lead, it looks like. Brian Glass on the outside. He went to that outside lane, doesn't have any help up there, so he's gonna fall. He's gonna fall well back unless he can, you know, kind of jump in line.
Yeah, I think that was only so well calculated of a move.
Yeah, well, hey, you know what? It's better to try that kind of thing early in the race rather than do it later on, you know, when there's like 15 laps to go and have that go wrong. You know, you do it now, he's still got, you know, over half the race to make it up. He'll probably fall in line. I think he's going to fall in line right in front of that 55 of Jeffrey Cox. Because it looks like there's enough of a gap there, he'll be able to fall in right there. So he's not gonna,
hopefully that'll work for him.
Yeah, he's not going to lose. Yep, that's what he's going to do. And he's not going to lose that much ground, actually. He only goes back to about 6th place. It's not too bad.
It could have been worse for him.
Yeah, I mean, you know, he went from 2nd, obviously, in which, you know, it would have been good to stay up in 2nd place, but, you know, he went from 2nd to 6th. You can still definitely gain that back, and, you know, you got a lot of racing left. Meanwhile, we got some good side-by-side action back here. That 11th place with the 31 of... Who's in that 31? That's Bobby McCormick, and then the 32 car leading that. That's John Hastings. I like that New York Yankees emblem he's got on the back end of that car. I like that. Not a big baseball fan, but I do like the Yankees.
I'm just not going to say anything.
What, you don't like baseball?
That's not why I'm not saying anything.
Oh, you don't like the Yankees, I see.
I'm on the other side of the argument, so yeah.
I got you. You see the 107, Narquay getting by, or letting them by. He'll go another lap down. I think that outside line's starting to form up again. You've got the 25 there. That's Mike Franklin with, I think, the 87. Oh, no! Big crash at the front. Oh, that's a big one.
And now everybody is damaged, besides, I think, 2 cars. I think I saw 2 cars get through it.
The 32's in it, the 31, the 6, the 119, Randy McCanny on his lid. I think the 39 got through that without damage. The 50 was undamaged, but man,
I think maybe I saw the 23 and 4 get through it with no damage.
Man, oh man, I think that's most of the field taken out in that one crash right there.
And now everybody is wrecked.
That is
on lap 17.
Horrible crash right there, and that's just bad luck.
Yeah, the 23 and 4, I think, are the only 2 that aren't damaged right now.
The 39 got through that without damage. Looks like the 119 went up, and he tried to come back. Yeah. The 119, you know, he thought he was clear. That McCanny, he thought he was clear. He didn't have as much room as he thought he did, and unfortunately, you saw what it led to. Just a horrible crash. Luckily, I think a lot of the drivers that got damaged, it was minimal damage, so they'll be able to continue on in that race. But
yeah, we have 3 cars who are not damaged right now.
Yeah, wow, just incredible. And that is unfortunate because, you know, that's one of those racing deals because you look at that replay.
Oh, the 50 might not have gotten in it.
Excuse me, but yeah, the 50's clean too. But you look at that replay. I mean, he thought he was clear and just had a little bit. Looks like he just had a little bit. That gap closed up a little bit quicker than he figured it would.
Yeah, that was just bad luck.
So we'll try to talk to him, Robert McCanny, try to get his perspective on what happened there, if I can see him up here. Or do you see him in the team speak? I think he might have.
I wasn't even in the right Discord right there. I don't see him. That's why, because he disconnected.
Okay, yeah.
So I think he left the Discord too.
I can see that, so we don't get an interview with him. Yeah, man, that's just unfortunate right there for them. I mean,
It's the
they were having a
28.
pretty good
The
race.
28's in there. I think he's the other one that got in it.
Yeah, well, you can talk to him. Where you see him?
He's in the Discord.
What's his, Gary Griffith?
Yeah. Because I think he was the one that the 119 came down into.
Yep, Gary Griffith, you got a copy on us.
10-4.
Man, just an unfortunate crash there. What happened from your perspective, man?
I didn't have a perspective. Next thing I knew, I was turning.
Right. How was the car driving before that?
It was a little tight going in, but it was all right. I wanted to stay on the bottom, protect that inside, and I was doing that. Thought I was going to get a lap lead there, but that happened.
Right. Now, what do you expect out of the race going forward? Are you going to try to get back out there, or is that car done?
It looks like it's going to be about 4 minutes worth of damage, so we'll see I'll get back out there and see what I can do. It'll probably be a pretty good race from here on. This league's pretty good about cautions. For some reason, it's just bad tonight. Or this morning. I don't know.
It's Daytona. The kind of thing happens from time to time. But yeah, thanks for talking to us, man. Best of luck to you next week when you guys head out to Kentucky.
Yep, 10-4. Thank you. Thanks for doing the broadcast.
Hey, happy to be here. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, Gary Griffith, driver of the number 28 machine. Michael Hensley, the driver of the 50, now out in front. We're going to take a quick break, but don't forget, cast your votes now. Octane Race Productions Driver of the Day Award. Put the driver name or number in the YouTube chat. Whoever has the most votes, end of the race, gets interviewed by ASN. Voting closes at the checkered flag. So yes, you can put in a vote on the final lap. We'll be right back on the American Sim Network. Don't go anywhere. Back live here on the American Sim Network. Michael Hensley, your race leader. Dylan Ayer, second. Third place to Hoskins. Fourth to Robinson. Fifth to Clyde. And sixth to Cox. Seventh to Mason. Eighth to the 11. And ninth to Vinning. 10th to Thompson.
And, well, the top 9 are on the lead lap.
Yeah, a lot of the field taken out in that last crash. Multiple DNFs tonight. So it's just been, or today, this afternoon. I keep saying tonight because it's a night track, and most of the broadcasts I do happen like 9 o'clock at night. This is the first one, I think the first one ever I've done actually in the afternoon. Or one of the first I've ever done in the afternoon, so, you know.
Well, yeah, a lot of leagues race at night because that's when, you know, more people are available to race.
But I like the idea of an afternoon league. It's pretty cool. Pace car down.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Well, the green flag, it's back in the air. We're racing again from Daytona. We got like, what, 60 laps to go, I think? Yeah,
exactly 60 to go, yeah.
So 60 laps left. 9 cars remain on the lead lap here. And we've had, how many drivers have DNF so far? Trying to get
quite a few.
Count on that. But Hensley got a good start there. That 50 did. He's got the 39, Dylan Ear, right behind him. Sorry if I'm pronounced, to the people watching this, if you're one of the drivers, whatnot, sorry if I'm pronouncing the names wrong. It's first ever time broadcasting this league, so that's my bad for that. I'm trying to get them right. But anyway, so Hoskins looking, I don't know why I keep saying Herneski. That's not even a name in this league. I've just got that name in my brain for some reason. But Hoskins, rather, looking pretty good in that 66 car. Even with the damage, that 66 is looking pretty quick up in the front of the field.
Well, yeah, I think it more depends on what kind of damage you have.
Yeah, he's got it right up on the front end. So I feel like that car is not going to be very quick if he has to lead a pack. But I think where he's sat right now, running second, pushing, I think he's going to be in good shape.
Yeah, I think the wrinkle's going to hurt if you're out front, but right now he's good to go.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I've had damage like that. I think the 11's in a similar situation. You see he's got that front end damage as well.
I think his is a bit more serious, though. Oh, yeah, I was looking at the 18 instead.
Yeah, I'm looking at the 11, the Stanley car. That is Thomas.
Yeah, the 11 has about the exact same damage.
Yeah, the 66. He's got a little bit on the rear end too. The spoiler's a little bit bent.
Yeah, the 18. He's still turning laps. He's still on the lead lap.
Hey, that's what you got to do. This is quickly becoming a
race of survival.
A war of attrition. That's the word I'm looking for. And I think it's going to come down to really just being able to survive, and that 18's doing a good job of it. And, you know, it's another case. He's got that front-end damage. As long as he's pushing someone, I think he's in good shape. Because that car is...
Or possibly not, because the 4 just went around him, and he's
got no help from
catching
behind.
The rest of the pack.
He's got no help from behind, though, the 18. He might have engine damage, too. I wasn't really thinking about that. And that 55's caught him right up.
Yeah, I think he's got engine damage, but
I think he may be right on that.
Even now, he's at least got an 8th place finish.
Hey, if he can stay on the lead lap, he's in a pretty good shape.
Even if not, he's in 8th place because everybody else is going to go down laps before he does right now.
One car going down pit lane. That's the 31, Bobby McCormick. He's got no front end on that car. I don't know if he's retiring it or if he's just getting routine work done. I guess we're going to see at this pit stop. Hey, it looks like they're just going to put some new tires on it. He'll be out and away. Look at Hoskins, Dode Hoskins. He's got again, that 66 car, again, even with the damage, it's looking pretty fast.
Yeah, I think he got really lucky with the damage that he has.
Yeah,
him
it
in the
might
11,
not be affecting him too much.
Like the 44, it looks like he has a little bit of possible engine damage, but it's not affecting him that bad.
You know, I've had engine damage at Talladega, and I actually still won the race. I was down by, I'm trying to remember how much RPM, but I was maybe 100 RPM. I still wound up winning. I just got very lucky. But, yeah, you can have minimal, the key word there, minimal engine damage and still kind of walk away in a good spot as long as you got help pushing you and you're able to push someone, you know?
Yeah, I mean, you'll be down by what? 1 mile an hour?
Yeah, the draft really helps. We got this 6-car breakaway.
Is yeah, like one maybe 2 miles an hour. That's nothing huge.
Yeah, definitely.
If you're down more than that, then you're in bad shape.
Yeah, I would agree to that. Well, I'd say maybe 3 miles an hour. I'd say is the low. You get 3 miles an hour, and that'll probably be about it. Jeffrey Cox, though, I tell you what, he's trying to work with Rick Mason. And it's kind of working, actually. They're not catching the field. They're not really catching the field, but they're not really losing them either, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
They're keeping it just about the same. That's not necessarily bad either. Meanwhile, looks like most of the cars a few laps down. They're running in what looks like, for the most part, 2-car trains.
Yeah.
I'm wondering how that the 4-car who has absolutely no damage, or at least no visible damage, wound up 4 laps down. I mean,
Yeah, you can imagine.
I'm kind of curious there. I mean, you see that, right? He's 4 laps down, and he's got a perfectly clean race car.
Oh, because he joined the race late.
Oh, yep, that would explain
He
it.
disconnected and then came back.
Man, that's unfortunate, because, I mean, look at that. He'd be right there at the front of the field with the leaders.
Yeah, but right now he's still in 12th.
That he is.
It's not great circumstances, but it's not that bad.
Yeah, that is definitely true. And we got a few more caution flags. He might, maybe not get back to the lead, but maybe go 2 laps down, maybe score a few more positions.
Yeah.
I'm thinking that might be a possibility there. You can see, was at the 107, or no, the 117 rather, Rob Connors getting put another lap down. He's back there, 17th spot. He was involved in the first crash, and, he's still out there trying to gain a few positions, pick up a few points.
Yeah, if you can stay out there, you'll gain multiple positions from the people who...
Yeah, he's gained quite a few already. You look at that.
Yeah, so maybe... Yeah, maybe it's not the best night, but you got a shot.
He was back there, somewhere around 20th earlier. Now he's up there 17th. There's another crash, which I really hope there isn't, because I think another crash would literally wipe out the entire field. But, if there is, we'll gain a few more spots probably. But,
hey, at least not just me coughing.
I had my mic muted there. It looks like the 18 might have got into the wall again. He's down on the apron. I'm not exactly sure what happened, but he went down to the apron. Well, the entire top 6 under a blanket at the moment. We've reached 50 laps to go, just over halfway. Another 10 laps. So we're closing in on 10 laps to go.
10 to go.
Or 10 laps till
You mean
halfway,
until
I meant to say.
halfway.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I meant to say. Yeah, that's
Rick
what I meant to
Mason
say.
has parked his car for the night.
The 18 car.
Apparently.
I can see that. That car is pretty tore up.
Yeah, but he was still in a good position.
Well, yeah, he was, but you think about it now, he's going to finish, the other guys is parked at Gary Griffith. He's going to finish, 18th, 19th spot? It's decent.
I think so.
I'd say that's a pretty decent finish right there. Get all things considered, of course.
Yeah, but if he kept running you would have been probably top 10 at this point.
Right. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's true.
Either way, it depends.
That's true. But yeah, but you got to think about it this way. The speed he's got in that race car is really not all there. So the problem he would face is just being able to really keep that car on track and not get any more damage, which, you know, can be easier said than done at times, especially at Daytona. So I can see why he would park it. He's still going to walk away with quite a few points tonight.
Yeah.
Got another vote in for driver of the day. Jeffrey Merck voting for Steve Thompson. Now, here's how we settle driver of the day ties, because this is, unless you've been watching the channel, some of you guys might not know. The way we solve that is basically whoever's in front at the end of the race. So right now it's a tie between Tex and Steve. The way that tie is going to be settled is, whichever one of them in front of him. So if that 40 car finishes in front of the 67, well, then he wins. Of course, if one of them gets another vote, then the tie's broken, and, then then it just goes whoever has the most votes. So if it's a tie, whichever one of them finishes in front.
Well, that's good to know. We've done a lot of broadcasts here, and even I didn't know that, so...
I thought we've had situations like that, and I've explained it before.
No, a lot of them that we've done there either was one driver, or they're just any votes.
Oh, right, I gotcha. But yeah, Michael Hensley putting on a great show with 46 laps to go. He's got a good lead. Now, with all the cautions, you think we're going to see pit stops under green?
I think so.
Yeah, I think we might, but it'll be interesting. 45 laps to go now. So not a lot of racing left. A little bit over halfway. Actually, exactly over halfway.
I think we'll see pit stops soon. I don't think many of the leaders have pitted.
Yeah, well, some of them have. I'm looking at Hensley hasn't.
Has the 39 or 23?
Yeah, they've pitted. They've pitted 3. The 39 is pitted 3 times. The 23 is pitted once. Now, I don't know what they did on those pit stops, but I can see that they've pitted multiple times. That I can see. 44 laps to go at the stripe. Yeah, if they do pit, I would think they're going to pit soon. They probably want to do it somewhere around the halfway mark.
Yeah.
That would be my strategy, at least. I'd want to pit it halfway, get it done and over with. That makes sense to me.
Yeah, because I think they can make it to the end of the race for that.
Yeah, I think so. Looks like we might get a pass for position. That 11 car going to the outside of the 39. And nope, the 39 will hold on to the spot. That's still in a year. 23 of Joshua Robinson, Thomas Ogle on the outside.
Yeah, I think there you can see the 11's damage.
Right.
Where he's going to make the move at some point possibly, but he's just got so much damage that it takes a long time to get around the car.
Yeah, I think you're right on that.
That's a move that if you were to do it at the end of the race, you'd have to start with about 4 laps to go.
Right.
To just even try and get the momentum going.
I'm wondering if that 66 is going to try to make us pass for that pass for the lead. Because I tell you what, he doesn't look like he's got too much damage. I think he could lead this race.
I don't think he's going to, just because, okay, right as I say it, he pulls out.
He pulls out, but he pulls right back in.
Yeah, that was smart because he realized nobody was going with him.
Yeah, I feel like, though, he could definitely lead this race, though.
That's possible. Yet again, it just depends on how things go. If he has the speed to do it, and he has people behind him, should have no issues.
41 laps to go. We're right at the halfway mark next time by. Right now, 41 at the stripe. So, really, any driver in particular you want to take a look at here?
I mean, I'm still interested with the 66. Maybe get an in-car of him, see what his RPMs are looking like.
There's a good idea right there. Now in car with the 66, Dode, Hornet, Hoskins. And you know, he's running second. He started back there. Well, he started in 19th. How about that?
Our leader started in 21st.
Yep. Well, he's turning about 8,400 RPMs. I'd say that's just about good. And he'll go to the outside. He'll get a good run here.
The 50 was pitting, too.
Yeah. But he'll
Which
take
doesn't
the lead.
hurt. 50 almost spun it coming into the pits.
Yeah, I saw that. We're in car now with the 50 as Hoskins takes the lead. Now in car with Clyde. Going to go in car with the 39. He's undamaged. I want to see what kind of RPMs one of these cars with no damage is putting out. See if
he's only turning 8,000, 8,100.
Well, let's see what he's putting out on the straightaway. Because on the straightaway, the 66 put out about 8,300. Yeah, it looks like they're putting right about 8,300. So that 66 doesn't have any engine damage.
Yeah, he seems to be fine.
Yeah, they seem right about on par with each other. Which is good news for Hoskins. Bad news, well, for anyone that isn't Hoskins. Because I'm sure probably a few of them were maybe hoping, hey, this guy's got damage. Maybe I'll be able to pass him. But nah, he's cranking out speeds just about on pace with everyone else.
Interesting thing to notice about the 66 car on the rear bumper. Since this is a 35 and over league, he does have an AP
Wait, what did...
logo on his rear bumper.
Wait, which car's got a logo on there?
The 66.
What's he got? Oh, an ARRP logo. We'll get a close-up look at that. Let's go on board the 44. Yep. There you go.
I think that works really well for
yeah.
35 and over.
Yeah, it's a little bit funny. Yeah, and we're on board now. Nellis, Connie, Clyde. You see right here, back there, Joshua Robinson on that outside line. Robinson now. Oh no!
And there's another wreck.
We went on board there. Call it a broadcaster's curse. Because as soon as we go on board with him, he got taken out.
Does he have that much damage?
Not really. He got it on the left front, or right front.
It looks like he has rear bumper damage and a wrinkle.
I think his motor went. Yeah, his motor. No, never mind. He's not smoking.
No, he's good to go.
I thought his motor started smoking out, but... So, Hoskins, your race leader. We'll be right back. Just under 40 laps to go. Just past halfway. Back live here at Daytona International Raceway. 33 laps to go when we take the green flag. Well, we have had quite the interesting race. 7 cars remain on the lead lap. 67, Steve Mule Thompson is the final car on the lead lap.
It appears that we have about
box.
Yeah, it appears we have about 2 without damage.
Yeah, it looks like the 4, who is unfortunately multiple laps down. He's 4 laps down. And I think the 50 is still undamaged. With the 50 is, yeah, he's in 4th, so he's actually on the lead lap.
Yeah, the 4 and the 50 are the 2 without damage.
Pace car down. Green flag out in the air. We're racing again. 33 laps here at Daytona.
However, that 66 still seems to be able to get a pretty good run going.
Yeah, 32 to go when we hit the striping. Yeah, that 66 car, you mentioned it. What an amazing run he got. I mean, that was a great run off the start. And I feel bad for that 4 car too. The 4 of Mike Schrader. You know, man, he is fast. He just got to be on the lead lap. Because if he was on the lead lap, he'd have a shot at this win.
He's 4 laps down in 9th place.
Hey, he would definitely have a shot at this win if he was on the lead lap here.
I think he could take the win if he was on the lead lap.
Right.
Just because his car is in good condition.
Well, I mean, that's 66. He's got that front end damage, but it is not affecting the way that car drives, at least too much. Because, I mean, we looked at his RPMs. He's turned about the same RPMs as everyone else. That car's running pretty good. I mean, he's got that thing sorted out pretty nicely. Well,
yeah, he's
doing
good.
Mike Hensley, Josh Robinson. And it looks like, well, Hensley needs to get a drafting partner. I think he'll have one in Jeffrey Cox, as they can probably work their way to the front of the field. Well, they're at the front of the field, you know what I mean. It's that lead pack.
As the 29 has retired for the night.
Yep, that is the 29, Ed Carpenter Jr. Yep. He retired all the way back on lap 27. You think
Well, he just finally disconnected from the race.
Okay.
So
I gotcha.
Was off track, is now out.
The 39 is also retired.
Yep.
Robert Smith. I think Robert Smith and Brian Glass are the only 2 drivers of that group that technically are yet to retire their race cars, as they're still on pit road. So technically they're off the track, not retired yet. But I'll be surprised if they come back out, you know?
Which, it could happen. I mean, with so many people retiring, you still have 29 laps that you can turn. You can make up a lot of positions.
Yeah, I mean, you could, but still, I don't see them coming back out because they're going to be so far down. Oh, okay, so here's why Schrader had to disconnect earlier. Thank you for pointing that out in the chat, by the way. To Death Vader. He said in the chat, the 4 car, Mike Schrader, the reason he had to disconnect before the start of the race, he lost his sound. So he had to restart.
Yeah.
So that would explain what put him 4 down, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's unfortunate because he is fast.
Yeah, that's just bad luck.
Because that 4 car, very fast, could have easily won this race, too. If he'd been on the lead lap. So, yeah, hopefully next week when they go to Kentucky, they'll get a better run in. You know, don't forget, folks, race is winding down. It's also winding down to get your votes in for the Octane Race Productions Driver of the Day. So far, the votes are tied with Steve Thompson and the 40 car of Jeffrey Kilburn. Right now, Kilburn is behind Thompson, so the vote would go to Thompson. So that'll be good to see. So if we get another vote here.
I don't know. If I could vote, it would either be for that 66 or 11.
My vote would be for the 4-car. Just because of the way that he's able to be running right now in that, well, really what would be top 4. He'd be in 4th place right now if he was on the lead lap. So he's really pushing that car as far as he can get it. So I'd put my vote in for the 4 if I could vote.
But of course, as the broadcasters, we can't vote.
Yeah, we can't vote for the Octane. But what we can do is try to pick a winner. So who's your pick to win?
I really don't know. Depends on what the 44 wants to do. Right. At this point, if it keeps running like this, if the 11 goes to make a move, it depends on which car the 44 goes with. Well, so I say it could either be the 66 or the 11.
Well, if you had to pick one driver, who would be your vote?
Probably the 66.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with you there, but for the sake of not picking the same driver to keep things interesting, I'm gonna go with that 50 car, Mike Hensley, because he led quite a while into this race. He led quite a lot of this race. He actually led 22 laps. So far, the most laps led tonight. And he's going to be my pick to win just because the speed he's got. I think he'll be able to get back up there. Whether or not he needs another caution to do it, that's yet to be seen. We'll see. I think he will need another caution. But if he can get a caution, I think he's going to be my pick to win it.
Yeah, if it doesn't go green, he will probably win. But if it continues to go green, he seems to be continuously losing time. I don't think he has much of a chance.
Yeah, if it goes green, I think that 66 has got it. But if it doesn't go green to the end, I think the 50's got a pretty good chance of taking home the victory.
As the 11 goes around him.
Yep, that is Thomas Ogle.
With help from the 44.
He's got the lead. Yeah, he's got the
However,
lead right now.
we may get an actual battle coming up here with the 4-car getting up there.
Yeah, I think that 4-car is going to be a big thing in this as well, because it's not so much, because, you know, he's got a lot of power in that car, so he can really help decide who wins this race as well, just based on, you know, where he puts that race car.
Yeah, even if he just pushes the person, quite literally, to the win. Because there is no book drafting rule.
Right now, 23 to go when we hit the stripe, and I tell you what, this battle for the win, although between really 3 drivers, is getting very exciting, because that 4-car, he's got a card in this, and it'll be interesting to see how he uses it, you know?
And it depends on if he wants to do anything with it as well.
Right.
He may just decide to sit around back there so that they can run their race.
Yeah, that might be too. I got a feeling though. I think he might try to run with them though, because I think well, I don't know. Actually, he might do what you said. He might try to run back there, and maybe just let these guys race it out, which isn't a horrible idea, you know. Not wanting to get in the way of anything. Well, how about we go on board the 44, because he's right in the middle of all this. I think that's a good idea. You see the 11's got a little bit of rear end damage. Now, what do you think about that? Obviously not affecting him too much.
Yeah, I think with how damaged the front 3 cars are, and pretty much every other car in this race, I don't think it's going to make any difference.
22 to go. Now, $1 million question, do you think we see another caution tonight?
I really don't know. I think we could. It depend, but it would be in one of the slower packs. It wouldn't be in our front pack.
Right. Well, I mean, it could happen in the front pack. It would be... I'd be surprised if it did, though.
It would probably be towards the last lap.
Yeah.
when somebody makes a move, then that could happen.
Yeah, exactly. Right now, 21 to go. Race is winding down right here.
And the 11 leads it. At a track where normally having a damaged car doesn't do you very much good.
Well, because a lot of the field's got a lot of damage, so it really, right now, everyone's kind of on a level playing field.
Yeah, it's like having normal cars, it's just because everybody's pretty much at the same power or less than you.
Yeah, exactly. Right now, and you can see we're on board with Hoskins, and you can see he's kind of trying to play that middle line, maybe try to get a good run to the back of the 44, and it's not really working perfectly.
I think he may also be trying to signal to the 44 to push him. As well, if something happened, he'd push him instead. Like, hey, if you go high, I'll go high with you.
Right. Hey, you can see he's gonna go high again, and that 4 car, he's not following him. I think it's like what you said. I think the 4 Schrader, I think he just kind of wants to let these guys race it out themselves.
Well, apparently from race control, they're trying to tell the 66 to stay in line, but there's no actual rules against that.
Right. And see, well, he's going to get a good push now up to the back of the 44 car from the 4. 44 and Nellis Clyde. And Thomas Ogle has just been leading so far, and he's been at a pretty good show right now.
Yeah, I think the 66 is trying to get something going. It's just not working very well for him.
At the moment, unfortunately, it's not. 18 laps to go. Meanwhile, Michael Hensley has fallen well back to about 10 seconds back of the leaders. Well, he needs a caution in order for something to fall his way.
That is very true. By the way, the 67 car has a vote in for driver of the day.
Yeah, he's had 2 votes now, so he's actually leading driver of the day. So it looks like he will win the driver of the day honors unless someone else throws up a vote, ties it back up, or puts in a vote for another driver maybe.
Yeah, that could always happen.
Yep.
I think the 66 car just isn't getting enough help from behind.
Yeah,
that seems to be what he needs to keep it going up front.
And it's just not happening.
Like, he could be a good front, a good lead or middle car, but I don't think he's very good at the back.
Well, no, because he's got all the damage at the front that really just prevents him from really being able to suck up to someone good. You know?
Yeah, it seems to be giving him a lot of issues.
And we got one car smoking into pit lane. Not sure who that was. That was the 23, Joshua Robinson.
He was in 6th place.
I don't know if he hit something or the motor just decided to let go, but that car is done for the night, it looks like.
Maybe the motor decided to go just because of how much damage all these cars have.
Because, yeah, that car is
And
gone.
he was one of the few non-damaged cars we had.
No, he had damage because the last caution was him, remember?
Yeah, that's why I said he was.
Oh, yeah.
It's kind of sad how his night turned around on him.
Right now, 15 laps to go.
Yeah, this front pack seems to be running pretty close together now. 66 finally got to close up to the back.
Right now, 14 to go at the stripe.
And it appears the 4 is going with him.
Oh, yeah, right now it looks like the 4 is going with the 66 of Hoskins. Again, why do I keep saying Hernesky? I think I'm combining the word Hornet and Hoskins into, like, one word.
That's entirely possible.
And that's where I'm getting Hernesky from. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm combining Hornet and Hoskins. I don't know why.
The 11 just tried to throw a block, and I think he realized his attempts were just not going to work.
Because that 66 has got a lot of speed with that push.
Yet again, he's a really good lead car.
Yeah, we're closing in on just 10 laps to go. This is where it gets exciting now, folks. Handful of laps left. 13 at the stripe, and I think Hoskins is going to be able to hop down to the bottom here in a few seconds if he chooses to leave the 4 car up on the top. Now, that's going to be the question.
Yeah, they seem to be getting a really good run on the straight.
Yep, that's for sure.
I think on the back stretch he'll be able to get in front.
Yeah, I think he's got. Yeah, I think you're right there because you see that 66 in the 4. They get a very nice run up there on that top lane. And yep, Hoskins drops to the bottom, leaves the 4 car Mike Schrader down up on the top line.
I think that was intentional by the 4 car.
It might have been.
He was saying on his radio, "Worry about you." Fine.
Yeah, there you go.
So I think he was saying, yeah, pull down because the 4 is in 8th place 4 laps down. And now with those 2 cars going, it seems like the 40 difficulties catching back up. As the 11 goes to make a move. And the 11 takes the lead back from the 66.
Yep. And the 44 is going to fall back in line in second, it looks like. Yep, that he does right there. 11 laps to go.
Will the 4 push the 66 again? That's the question.
I think he will. Well, I think the 4 car will because really he's got nothing to lose by doing it, you know? Not like he's going to lose a spot.
Yeah, I think he may be picking who he wants to win right here.
Probably.
Because if he knows that it takes 3 laps to make that move and make it stick,
he'll probably start it with like 5 to go, probably. 10 to
or
go.
4 to go.
10 to go
just
here.
make sure.
Well, I'd say 5 to go. Bill in an extra lap just in case. Because nothing ever goes to plan, you know?
Well, yeah, that is very true.
I think that's like rule of thumb right there.
Yeah, the 4 is going with him. Somewhat.
Yeah, it looks like he is.
I think the 4 wants to run a little lower in the corners than the 66. Really good side drafting move right there, though. From the 66 to the 44.
Yep, and you can see Hoskins and Schrader now again, top line, 9 laps to go. Can they get him to the lead? And the 11 goes up to put the block. And he does. Thomas Ogle puts the block, and it doesn't stick. Well, put the 4 car, put Schrader well far back.
Yeah, I think he was just making sure he didn't wreck anybody.
Yep.
As he is up to 7th place, the 4-car is.
Yep. Jeffrey Merck saying in the chat, Schrader isn't going to get involved in the finish. He's pretty good about not picking the winner. So that'll be interesting to see how much help that 66 has then with the final few laps if the 4-car doesn't want to get it too involved, you know?
Yeah, you never know.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I'm excited to see how this goes down. Looks like Hoskins actually going to lose ground. Seven to go. It'll be 6 to go at the stripe here. And really, I say this race, it's not over yet, but it's pretty close to it.
Yeah, Schrader just seems to want to be pushing now. I think that move being so early just lost the 66 this race.
I don't want to say it's over yet, because, you know, you can never say it's over till it's over, especially in Daytona. But...
I really am trying not to cough in the mic,
no,
by the way.
I believe you, but yeah, that was a little bit loud.
Yeah,
I think Schrader is in the kind of position where that, not Schrader, rather, the 66 is in a position that he is going to need something to happen to those two leaders for him to win this race. That's the way I see it.
It could entirely be that they tried to make very aggressive moves and wreck each other. Seen that happen before towards the end of a Daytona race.
Four laps to go when we hit the stripe. And this race is interesting still. I tell you what, we might see a pass for this lead. I think we're going to see it, though, like on the final lap. I don't think we're going to see it here. Not right now.
Maybe 2 laps to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, if these two accidentally wreck each other, which is entirely possible, because you can get a very aggressive at the end of a race here, the 66 could still win.
4 to go. Well, look at this. Schrader getting pushed by the 66. I don't know how well that's going to work out, you know, for Hoskins, just because of the fact that he's got that damage, but that's not a bad idea.
The 4 pushing the 44.
Yep. Yeah, the 11
Who was it that said that,
Thomas stepped on the bottom lane.
Yeah, who said that he wouldn't try and decide the winner of this race?
That was a comment in the YouTube chat. Well, I don't think he's really decided the winner. I think he kind of got forced into pushing him, because look, he's gone around the outside.
Yeah, I think he's trying to get his lap.
Yeah, he's not trying to make the winner. But look, it's the 3 wide. 66 under the apron. They touch, they spin. He saves it. Does he? Yes, he does. Actually, I
the
think
44 just disappeared on
I
my
think
screen.
he Alt F4 as to not cause a crash there. Oh dear. Now that was something else. That was crazy, I tell you what.
That was Daytona.
Yeah. 2 laps to go. 2 more times around. And we're coming to the white flag this time.
Oh yeah, I think the 11 has this race. There's such a big gap to make up in 1 lap.
Yep, it's over. 2-second gap. He's not closing that one up.
Well, they put on one hell of a show. I'll say that.
Coming to the checkered flag, and it is going to be Thomas Ogle. And I really hope I'm pronouncing that right. I don't think I am, but he'll win it at Daytona. Hoskins second. Yeah, Bill Benedict saying it might not have been an Alt F4. It might have been a DQ for too many incident points. Yeah, that might be possible as well. But at any rate, what a finish.
That 4 car ended up in 7th place after starting laps down from the pits. So that's a really good run for him.
Yep. And so that is been an interesting race. We'll get on with the post-race interviews. Do you see Thomas in the Discord?
I do not.
All right. Well, while we wait for him, we'll actually start with our driver of the day winner. And that'll go to Steve Thompson. So, Steve Thompson, have you got a copy on me?
Yes, I'm here.
Well, you've come home 5th and you win driver of the day award. How's that feel?
Oh, man, it's great. It was a battle, I tell you what. After that first crash, I was thinking about hanging up at running for points, so I just stuck it out, and I was lucky to end up where I did.
Yeah, it was quite an interesting race. Now, from a driver standpoint, what did you think about it?
I was pretty disappointed in that crash early on. You know, it took a lot of good guys out. So, other than that, you know, I'm glad to see those top 3. Thomas Ogle win the race, and good job to everybody that was able to persevere out here.
Right. Anyone you want to thank? Sponsors, that kind of thing?
Yeah, I'd like to thank RideTV.com. They sponsor this Toyota Camry, and so does Post It, but mostly RideTV.com. I really appreciate your support through this last year, and hope to bring some more wins to you guys.
All right, well, thanks for talking to us, man. Good luck next week at Kentucky.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Oh, sorry about that. We cut you off. What were you saying? Steve, you still there?
Yeah, I'm here. I said thanks for broadcasting. We really appreciate it, guys.
Yeah, yeah, no problem. Sorry we cut you off there. I pressed the button a little bit too quickly.
No problem.
All right, Jared, I'll let you get the interview with our race winner, Thomas Ogle.
Hey.
Ogle, there we go.
Hey. Well, I was about to say, do you have a copy, but obviously you're here. In an interesting race, you brought home the win.
Yeah, I'm not sure how. I mean, I was involved in both of those big wrecks and just kind of tried to stay on the bottom and sneak through.
Yeah, it was definitely an interesting race. You guys put on quite a show. Especially at the end there when the 66 and 44 got together, I believe it was. What were you thinking when you saw that in your rearview mirror?
I just saw the 44 disappear. I moved up like a couple laps before and blocked a run on the 66 had on me. There was a lapped car pushing him, and then they pushed the 44 past me. So I was just hoping not to get crashed. I was kind of shocked when they got together. My spotter said 3 wide, so I just held it on the top. I figured I was going to finish third and they were going to pass me.
Yeah, well, they obviously didn't pass you. You brought it home in first place. Anybody you'd like to thank?
I just want to thank these guys for putting these races on. Thank you guys for televising it. It was a lot of fun. It's just dumb luck that I won that race. There was hardly no skill at all in that race. But feels good to win one.
Well, good luck for you next week. Week in Kentucky, maybe you can bring home 2 wins in a row.
Maybe. I usually run just the trucks, not the cup cars, because I'm probably not as good as most of the guys in these cup cars. But thanks a lot for broadcasting the race. I appreciate it.
All right, thanks for talking to us. We'll see you. Well, I don't know if we'll see you, but you'll be on track in Kentucky, hopefully.
Hopefully. Thanks a lot, guys. Have a good day.
You too. All right, next up, we'll go to our second place finisher. That would be the 66, Dode Hoskins. Have you got a copy on me?
Yes, sir, I sure do.
Tell you what, man, that was a good race. You put on second place. What do you think?
It was a dynamite race, but I got most of my lead from the, the 2 wrecks that were that preceded us early.
Right. Now, how'd that car drive most of the race? Because you had a lot of front end damage there. How was it having to work around with that?
As long as I stayed in the front, Dean Air and Nils Clyde and the gentlemen that run the race were able to pass me easily on the outside if they got in line.
All right. Now, going into next week, what do you expect there? You think you're going to get another podium finish?
No, my podium finishes are only few and far between. This was a big day for this little boy.
All right, well, congratulations on second. Thank you. Talk to us real quick before we let you go. Anyone you want to thank, sponsors, that kind of thing?
Oh, I thank the old bastards. They're the greatest thing that ever happened to iRacing.
All right, well, have a great day, man.
Right back at you.
All right, last up on the interview block, Mike Hensley. He'll finish third tonight after leading 22 laps, tying with Thomas Ogle for the most laps led. Ogle. All right, Jared, take it away.
Hey, you got a copy?
Mike Hensley, are you there?
Yes, sir.
All right, Jared, you got it.
All right, you managed to bring it home third place, and with little to no damage at the end of that race. You were one of, I think, 2 cars that finished the race like that, and you almost led the most laps. So how did the race go for you?
Well, I don't know, nerve-wracking, I guess.
I noticed you had a pit call that ended up not going over too well because there was a caution about 2 laps after you got back out on track. Do you think that may have been what possibly caused you to not end up winning this race, or?
Probably. Tell you the truth, I'm not sure what kept me from winning it.
Well, for a man of few words, is there anybody who you would like to thank for this?
Probably Joel Kilburn and Steve Thompson. They're the one that's helped me. I'm kind of new at this, and it's just the luck of the draw here. You know, I can't drive with them guys.
Well, hopefully you keep it up in Kentucky, maybe end up with another podium finish.
Appreciate it.
Yep, have a good one, man.
You too.
All right, and from all of us at the American Sim Network, we hope you enjoyed today's broadcast. We'll be back tomorrow night with the Anarchy Motorsports Cup Series, once again at Daytona. Seems like we can't escape this racetrack. Yeah, I love Daytona, though. It's always fun. But seriously, I hope everyone enjoyed today's broadcast. We'll see you next time on the American Sim Network. We'll see you around.